Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Let's attack and dominate on a Monday. Tito, Jeff Thitoff with you. To my left, not Bobby Carpenter. The great Justin Zwick.
Where do I look?
I don't know, JC. Ask Bodie. Bodie will tell you what to do. That's all you do is look at Bodie. Bodie runs everything. So just say, Bodie, where do I look? I think you look that way, but I don't know.
I feel like I should be looking right there.
Maybe right there. Bodie, where do you want me to look?
When you talk, if you really get deep,
Once I get into it and I'm going into like a long dodge
right here,
right there, the red light goes on. That's me. Yep,
we're kind of right in the middle there.
Love it. Nice little setup you guys got in here, huh?
Not bad. We've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Bodie, would you
Getting
say
used to it? I'm sure.
Bodie, would you say you've enjoyed the transition?
Getting used to it. Yeah, I think
it's a weird word.
Is the technology the worst part about it? Just trying to figure out how all this all works over here.
And I know how it works. It just
fair.
takes me a minute to kind of get everything set up each day. And unfortunately, today is day one of neither Ben nor Tyler here. Now,
and we got Carpenter.
You know, if you're going to play without Jordan, it's good to have Scottie Pippen, and we got Isaiah sitting over there.
I'm so glad Isaiah's here also, yes. But it is weird, though. And honestly, Jay-Z, I don't feel great about it, but I don't feel terrible about it. All of this has added more work to Bodie and less to me. Like, my duties have gone down.
Oh, so he took the sheet from you?
No, the sheet, and then also now this.
And now this.
This state, like all the sounds, he's got to play them now. So, am I disappointed? No. Am I sympathetic?
Are you giving him more sounds to have to play?
Not me. But publicly, though, I'm sympathetic. But privately, I'm like, yes. Anyway, big show lineup for you today. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. 2 hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, Twitter, Facebook. Catch the show from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Download the podcast anywhere and everywhere you get your audio. Tell your friends. And to quote the great comedian whose name I can't remember, if your friend tell your friends about us. If your friends don't like it, find new friends. We do have Bill Bender coming out at 6:20 yesterday. I should say the Cardinals beat the Reds 5-3. The Cardinals swept a 3-game set for the Reds. Reds in San Diego tonight at 9:40. Rangers 10-3 over the Guardians. The Rangers took 2 of 3. Cleveland's hosting the Yankees tonight at 6:40 p.m. Knicks over the Spurs on Friday night, 105-104. Wembanyama had a chance to do something and didn't. And Knicks ended up winning the game. Jalen Brunson played well down the stretch. Knicks are up 2-0. Game 3 at Madison Square Garden tonight at 8:30. Knights over the Hurricanes. I'm sorry, I said Golden Knights, but it's not that. It is actually the Vegas Tortorellas. They won 5-4 in double overtime. They're up 2-1. Game 3 tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Memorial Tournament. It went down to a playoff. Were you out there much at the tournament or not?
I was not. I was out of town visiting some family, so it was fun to watch from afar.
Right.
Not fun watching that storm. I thought I was going to lose some trees in my backyard with Jack's place having some come down. But got home yesterday and it was just perfect time to sit back and relax and watch. I think when I turned it on, there were 6 guys at the top of the leaderboard.
Yes,
I'm like, this is going to be a great afternoon. Here we go.
I was Reeser and I did Fan Sports Saturday out there. Believe it or not, on Saturday. And hence the name. But nonetheless, though, we were out there doing our thing where the Fan always does their shows, and we're in the middle of a segment, and we hear the horn go off. And so, we had to rush inside after that and do the rest of the show from inside there. But great time as always. JT Poston wins it in the playoff -12 over Ryan Gerard. Wyndham Clark finishes 11 under. Tommy Fleetwood, Sam Burns, both at 10 under. But a great event. And you're right, the weather. And I saw so we got done with the show at 1 o'clock. I had to drive down to the Athens area for a wedding. But I saw some of the photos then the next, when it went through the second wave with all the hail and stuff.
I was going to say, you didn't get that in the first one.
We didn't get that. We
just
got the heavy rain
yeah.
early. And a little bit of thunder and lightning. But the hail, so I saw that. I was like, oh, my gosh, that's much different than what I experienced.
Yeah, I was kind of mad. We're on TV watching this oh, my gosh, what is happening down there in Columbus? It was one little slither just came right through Dublin perfectly.
And so I'm down there at a wedding in it was Nelsonville, I guess, technically, but it was out. They were OU grads that were getting married. It was my one of my best friend's daughters was getting married. And the rain I don't know how, avoided us.
Oh, nice.
And so outdoor wedding and all of that. And we had a little sprinkles here and there, but it was after we were under the tent, after the wedding ceremony. And so we lucked out that way. But nonetheless, another successful weekend for the Memorial Tournament. Bodie, you've got a lot of buttons you're pressing. Are you ready for this date in history?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Sort of ready.
Kind of ish.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, guys. I do
Bodie
hope my
Wells.
Zeta sound system works here because it keeps popping up an error message that I've never seen.
I can
but
fake sound
It
if it's
looks
something
good
I know.
as I.
Oh, have to sing.
You might have to, Tito. This might be.
Go!
Bob might
Love to
not be
sing.
happy when he gets back
I don't
tomorrow,
care.
but
Whatever.
it's might be our only option. All right, guys. June 8th, 2026, the 159th day of the year, 206 days until 2027. And there's that error message again. Get
Wait,
out
I
of the way,
feel like,
please.
though, that we're in June. We should be closer to halfway point.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, 30 days from now, though, will be.
I know, but it's middle of June almost.
That's true. Not even 30 days, I guess.
I know, but it just seems
at,
like-
So let's just call it, we're on 159, 206
Okay,
left.
that's fine.
Let's add a number, subtract a number, 160, 205. Then you just add 20 days there. We're at
Don't do
180.
math. No, stop.
205
Yeah,
minus 20 is
great.
185.
Yep, sure.
My brain hurts.
I'm also, I
Yeah,
quit
it's
the
too
show.
early for that.
This stupid error message.
me get my
is really
calculator
annoying
out.
me. All right, guys, we will start with some events on this date. All the way back in 1789, James Madison, the fourth president, introduces 12 proposed amendments to the United States Constitution in Congress. 10 of the 12 would be ratified. We know those today as the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution there. 1861 on this date in the American Civil War, Tennessee secedes from the Union. They were the 11th and final state to do so. They eventually lost that war, of course.
They also lost to Ohio State in the playoff.
That they did. Yes,
Okay.
they did. Good job, Tito.
Continues.
1906, Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th president, signs the Antiquities Act into law, authorizing the president to restrict the use of certain parcels of public land with historical or conservation value. How
Also
about-
very good in the 90 Museum movies.
yes, he was. Yeah. A.K.A. Robin Williams, I think,
Whatever it
right?
is. I don't know.
Give or
But
take,
it's-
maybe.
Yep.
I haven't seen those movies.
what
in
I
a
do
while,
believe,
but
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me. Jumping ahead here on this date, some baseball in 1955. The Brooklyn Dodgers option pitcher and future Baseball Hall of Fame manager Tommy Lasorda to make room on the roster for Sandy Koufax. That's a couple pretty good name swap there.
Smart move by the Dodgers. Not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Worked out.
I think it
Probably
worked out,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah. A few years later, some more sports on this date. In 1958, Mickey Wright wins the first of her 13 major championships at the LPGA Championship at Churchill Valley. Her 13 major titles are second most all time, behind only Patty Berg, who has won 15. On this date in 1965, we had the inaugural MLB draft, very first one there. The Kansas City Athletics select Arizona State University outfielder Ricky Monday, number 1 overall. I never heard of Rick Monday,
Rick
honestly.
Monday,
so.
okay, I'll tell you why he's famous. In 1976, playing for the Cubs, there was one point in the game when a couple of people went on the field and tried to light an American flag on
Oh,
fire.
is he the one that got the flag out?
He went out there and he did that.
Okay,
Yes,
I remember that.
And so Rick Monday was the one who rescued, I guess, if
Great
you would say, the flag.
Patriots, Rick Monday.
Yes, Rick Monday. Played for the Dodgers for a long time after that. Won a couple of World Series with them, I think in 77, 78, maybe 80. Or no, I'm sorry, 81. They lost 77, 78 to the Yankees. But he was with the Dodgers when they won it in 81, I believe. But Rick Monday, though, yes, that's what he's best known for is that.
All right, there we go. 1 year later, on this date in 1966, the NFL and AFL announced merger plans to form one league with 2 conferences. That would be the NFC and AFC in the National Football League, starting 4 years later after that date in 1970. On this date in 1968, back to baseball here, Don Drysdale pitches a record 58th consecutive scoreless inning, and that is still second most all time now. Behind
Oral Hershiser, yep.
Yep, who did 50.
88.
Yes, an 59 innings, so he got him just by 1 inning there. All right, Thitoff, be ready to sing. I think my system's
Oh,
worked.
God,
I've
can't wait.
signed
Oh,
out.
please, I've been
signed
waiting
back
for
play
this.
if I want to.
But
Let's do it.
on this date in 1974, Paul McCartney and the Wings go
he knows
number
it.
1 on the. Oh yeah, he knows it. Number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with
Milo?
"Band on the Run."
So I can still sing or not?
I think Paul's got it.
Band on the run. Band on the run.
Let's go.
Go to hell, Carp.
That's a pretty catchy tune right
Yes,
there.
it is.
Got a bit more music here because on this date in 1985, Tears for Fears begins a 2-week run atop the Billboard Hot 100 with their new wave classic, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And then, jumping ahead a little more than a decade on this date in 1996, the Fugees scored their first #1 single with Killing Me Softly.
Two times. The Fugees, baby.
There you go.
Jeez.
And then last event here on this, some sports, back to the sports world. On this date back in 2002, Serena Williams wins her first French title as she beats her older sister Venus, 7-5 and 6-3. Got a handful of birthdays here, guys, on this date. Born on this date back in 1925. She passed in 2018, but born on this date in 1925. Barbara Bush, the 41st First Lady of the United States of America, wife of George H.W. Bush, and of course, mother of George W. Bush. Born on this date in 1927, actor, comedian, among others. He passed a handful of years ago in 2020, but born on this date in 1927, Jerry Stiller.
I got your message. I haven't celebrated Festivus in years. What is your interest?
Well, just tell me everything, huh?
Many Christmases ago, I went to buy a doll for my son. I reached for the last one they had, but so did another man. As I rained blows upon him, I realized there had to be another way.
What happened to the doll?
It was destroyed. But out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us.
What a great episode that
Oh,
was.
that-
Oh, my goodness.
So good.
It's a good episode, yeah.
No,
your word for
you-
it.
nothing.
I've never seen.
Oh, buddy,
Seinfeld,
you gotta get
but-
into Seinfeld.
Feats
I
of
do
strength.
know.
Yeah, feats of
Yes, with
strength.
the pole. It's,
Kruger
oh
was
my-
there, wasn't he?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, he was. Yes.
And then another funny person here, comedian, actress, and TV host. She passed in 2014, but born on this date in 1933, Joan Rivers.
What happened to your eye? What happened?
I scratched it on Al Roker's zipper, and it was just.
I was talking about so-called retirement.
Yes, yes.
And there may be somebody who wants to know about yours.
I cannot retire
Oh, okay.
because I have 2 new faces on layaway, and I just.
For those of you that don't know, I was banned from The Tonight Show for 28 years because I had left Carson to do my own show, and a woman in those days didn't leave. It was a whole... trust
Yes,
me.
yes.
A man could leave. Cosby left, come back, we love you.
Yes.
I left, you'll never be on again.
It's really amazing to me because Carson had so much power already that he was going to hate on a girl from Westchester.
From a girl that did nothing for 20 years except say I love.
And then...
Well, I didn't sleep with him.
Well,
he didn't ask me.
Oh.
Okay, so she was the guest host of the Tonight Show in Carson when he would go on vacation or go on his hiatus, whatever it was. She was the guest host, but as soon as she left, she took her own show at Fox with the Joan Rivers Show, and that's when she was banned. After that, Carson was very powerful, and also would say, you know what? No, you leave me, you're not coming back, because he really did help her career.
Well,
All right,
if
there
you're
you go.
banning the team, forget about it.
Right? Yeah,
Got a
exactly.
spot for you here.
Hey, it's like far from the Vikings.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
it was. Like, you know what?
You're
We're done
against
with
us.
you. Yes.
All right, and then born in the state in 1939, the Pro Football Hall of Famer, played in 4 of the first 6 Super Bowls, Herb Adderley. He sadly passed a handful of years ago in 2020. Some people who are fortunately still with us, turning 86 years old today, singer and actress Nancy Sinatra.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Is there a relationship there?
Yes, it's Frank's daughter.
Okay.
Yep.
And they did a song together, or did an album together. I think
I
they did
didn't-
really well, yeah.
not
But
know
Frank
that.
and Nancy, yep.
And then a couple more musicians here and singers born on this date in 1951, turning 75 years old today, singer Bonnie Tyler.
Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now tonight.
Needs it more than ever.
And I need you more than ever.
And then last one here, born on this date in 1977, turning 49 years old today, a man who's had a rather successful rap career, maybe a polarizing figure when you step away from the music. Tito, she's a trifling friend indeed. Kanye, turning 49 today.
It's something that you need to have, cause when she leave, she gon' leave with half. 18 years.
18 years, she got one of your kids.
18th birthday, found out it was
What his? Oh, goodness, what a great song that is.
Put out some bangers back in the day.
Okay,
when Jamie Foxx's intro comes on, that's pretty good right there.
I was the best man in a wedding, and that was a song they played in the limo when we were leaving the ceremony to go to the reception. It was in the limo.
All right.
So it was one that was popular at the time. That same wedding, though, Bodie, and I feel terrible about this, ish. But I'm the best man, okay?
Yeah.
And we're out there, so they give you the ring. Best man holds the ring.
Correct, yep.
Okay, usually they put it on one of their fingers so they don't lose it. So we're out there. I get the ring. I've got it on a finger. We're walking around. We're doing pictures in this huge open field, okay? And we get done with the pictures. Ceremony's going to start. I lost the ring.
Oh, that awesome.
Too much of this.
Yeah, right. So we go out there, and I've
ring
got
fell
me,
off.
the groom, and the groomsman. We're out with our, at the time, phones had lights on them. We're looking around in this huge open field for the ring.
Wow.
The groom was freaking out, which I get.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair response.
We found it, though, right before we were supposed to be in there, and we made it. But worst best man ever.
Yeah.
I was best man in 3 weddings.
Memorable.
One for one guy, and the other guy had 2. But nonetheless, best man in 3 weddings. But yeah, that's the
So you
worst
obviously weren't
experience.
That'd be the last after that story.
You're right.
the one guy
there
brought
was
you
one
back.
more. Yeah, the other guy brought me back after that one. It was like the
You're
one
so
with
nice
that
you did it
guy, one
twice.
with Mike, then with Lucas, and then Mike. The Lucas one is where I lost it. So he still trusted me enough.
Has he gotten remarried? Divorced?
I don't think Lucas has.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I've lost contact with him. I'm
that's a shame.
best man in both of
best
your
man
weddings,
in
and
the
we're
wedding.
not friends anymore, really. We don't communicate much.
It's crazy how life goes.
It's a podcast.
Got a few passings here. Passing away at the age of 78 years old, all the way back in 1845, Andrew Jackson, who was the 7th president of the U.S., and then a couple more, a little bit more recent. On this date in 2018, Anthony Bourdain passed away at the age of 61. Sadly, took his life. The American chef and then travel documentarian. And then last one here, just 2 years ago, passing away at the age of 84 years old, Chester Chet Walker, the basketball Hall of Famer, and he won the championship with the 76ers in '67. Holidays and observances today. It is World Oceans Day, Name Your Poison Day. There you go, Tito. National Best Friends Day.
That's great. I'm glad it was the 3 of us
Best
working
man,
together.
best friends.
3 best friends of the whole wide world.
Upsy Daisy Day, and then World Brain Tumor Day. That's what I got for you guys. June 8th, 2026, the 159th day of the year, and we got 206 days left until 2027.
Okay.
How about that?
First of all, great job, Bodie, but you could have gone Brain Tumor Day and then Best Friends later.
I could have, yeah. Kind of just wrote
I'm just saying,
it in the
looking at
order.
it, don't you think
there
of it
is fresh for him?
Listen, you got to
would
bring
you have
awareness
closed?
to it.
I understand, but I think you should have closed with Best Friends Day versus the Brain Tumor Day.
Maybe
Just
you're
a better note to end on.
Maybe you're just so high on my level of best friends that I wanted to get to it sooner.
That's fine. It's not
I said
true.
maybe.
He lost a couple best friends, so he needs some more.
It's not true. It's not true. Coming up next, Bill. I'm sorry. Wait, I've got to do this. This is the way you say it. Great job as always, Bodie.
Thank you.
Yeah, other than the end, but whatever. Anyway, coming up next, Bill Bender will join us for Sporting News. This is Morning Juice.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
So after I got done playing football, I still like to work out, go do all of the activities that I love so much. And unfortunately, I started having a little bit of pain in my knee. That's when I went and saw my friends at QC Kinetics. We were able to go in there, get the consultation, get treated, and now my knees, well, they're as good as new.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? I don't know. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
We have a desire and passion for great customer service. Every detail is important to us. From your first phone call to the end of the project, Newman is here to help you every step of the way. We're here to educate you so you understand what's happening with your roof. We're in your corner to help you be confident in your decision. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. We are Newman.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to speak up, or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's
All right,
Bobby
Bill Bennett
and
joins
Tito.
us right now. Sorry, am I there now? Sorry. Did I mess something up there, Brody?
A little quick on the trigger, that's all.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just I heard
You got
dead
excited.
air. I got you. Okay, it's fine.
You're
Bill,
dead air.
Okay, that's fine. I'm dead.
I'm not mad. I'm
Not
just
yet,
like
but
I'm
if you do
concerned.
that again, you might be.
I'll do it all the time. Bill Bennett joins us Sporting News right now. Bill, good morning, my friend. Are Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Day underpaid?
Well, Jeremiah Smith, it's an interesting question because, I mean, I don't know how much he makes, first of all, but you could probably compare that to some of the NFL elite receiver contracts and have that argument at that point in terms of what he means to the Ohio State football team going into this year. Yeah, I mean, he's considered the greatest or the best player in college football going into this year. Ryan Day, I mean, I think it's probably about right, given what Ohio State football does for the state's economy and all those things. But, the buyouts in college football with college football coaches are something that I think are going to be changed a little bit over the years, over the next couple of years with some of the changes that might be coming to college football.
Do you think either of those guys would be willing to give up some money to get this big 5-star running back that we had in 2 weekends ago for his official visit that was just down at Tennessee this past weekend?
Right. I mean, if you can move money, I think that's what I'm saying, like the money about buyouts and facilities and the arms race and facilities, most of it's going to be probably funneled towards players and recruits and those kind of things. Now, my feeling on, bringing players in, I mean, that wasn't the intent of NIL to bring in recruits, but that's no doubt part of the way it's going to be used in the future.
Bill, will this Save or Protect College Sports Act actually protect college sports?
I think there are pieces of it that I like a lot, in terms of the portal, how many years you're eligible. The Lane Kiffin rule, Tito, for example, I think that's a good rule. In the NFL, they don't hire the next head coach before the next season. Like if, the Browns go 0-7 to start the season, they can't hire the Bengals head coach during the year, which would be bizarre if they did. Maybe that's a bad example, but I don't like that in college football. I think there were a lot of things in that bill that made a lot of sense. But as you know, I don't think they could pass a piece of legislation because not everybody's going to agree on all of those things when we're dealing in a sport where the Power Four conferences are just, for the first time, I believe, you're going to have all 4 of them playing 9 conference games for the first time. How long did that take to get that to happen?
Some talk here in the last week about the super conference between the Big Ten and the SEC. Is that just all smoke? Where's that coming from? Are they just trying to get TV rights or TV deals set up in place? What do you think on that?
Well, I think the idea of a super league and then all of that has been talked about for as long as I've covered college football at Sporting News. I mean, and before that even. It's not going to happen anytime soon. And I think some of it's just, like you said, for TV rights and pulling media deals and trying to spread that out a little bit. The idea, though, is sound. I think as we keep going each year, there's only going to be a certain amount of programs that can handle having to pay players that much money and to do the things necessary to be an elite Division I program. And I think that number is probably around 40. The problem with the SEC and Big Ten doing a super league is that out of those 34 programs between the 2 conferences, I don't think all 34 of those programs would be quote unquote super league worthy.
Oh, but God, though, Bill, Northwestern Purdue want to be considered that. They want to be considered that because they're part of the Big Ten, right? Because they're going to keep taking that. They want to take that money they've got, maybe not reinvest it, but they should. Anyway, that's a topic for another day on that. But with the talk of the Super League, the Big Ten and SEC both said, oh, no, we haven't talked about that at all. I don't believe that. I don't believe that somebody from the SEC and maybe at the commissioner level and some of the Big Ten have not had a conversation about, hey, what would this look like? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they've had to have at least a conversation about it. And if they haven't, they're idiots. But I think they're smart people-ish that they should have had a conversation by now.
I would think that's been at least talked about at some point. And again, how many programs could you do that with across the Power Four? I know I've written articles in the past at Sporting News that kind of weighed, okay, here are the programs that have the money, that have the prestige, that people would watch for TV purposes. And, we've done 16-team leagues and compared it to the soccer, the Champions League and those kind of things where, okay, here are the programs. So the problem is, like I said, as you know, too, a couple of those programs are in the ACC. What about Florida State, Miami, Clemson over the last several years? A couple of those programs, the Big 12, Texas Tech, they're spending like a Super League program, and they're going to continue to spend like one. So, and like you, and the other part, if I was doing it off the top of my head, how many Big Ten schools do you think are like that? I would say it's like 10 or 11. Looking at those are the programs, and it goes down to like Iowa, Wisconsin. What would you feel about those teams being in a league like that?
This is all good talk for off-season stuff. We are in the almost middle of June, which means football is getting closer and closer. So season's going to go on as is here this year. What do you have this summer, just as far as the Buckeyes are concerned? Anything burning in your brain of questions that need to be answered or things that need to be done this summer going into camp?
Well, I mean, as our yearbook's out on newsstands now, we talked about that last week on here. It's very well done, and now you have 3 Big Ten teams in the top 5, 3 legitimate national championship contenders in the top 5. Of course, Indiana returning a little bit of a different roster, new quarterback, but I think there's enough pieces from that team that are good enough. Oregon returned a lot of pieces on the defense. Mateo Uiagalelei, their secondary is going to be really good around Finney, and the offense has Dante Moore, who bypassed the NFL draft. So, and where does Ohio State fit in there? Their schedule is brutal. That was something I was looking at this week. According to our top 25 at Sporting News, and I'm pulling it up real quick. So if you look at the Big Ten schedules, Ohio State's going to play 8 ranked teams in our top 25. So they have the toughest Big Ten schedule. And it's not close, really.
So Indiana, they're at Nebraska, host Ohio State, at Michigan, at USC, host USC, at Washington. When the regular season ends, not counting the Big Ten championship, when the regular season ends, does Ohio State have more, less, or the same number of losses as Indiana?
Well, I mean, Indiana, we're going to find out. They finally have a tough schedule. The one thing if I was betting on it, I would say Indiana probably has fewer losses. But
isn't that crazy?
It is, and some of it's schedule related. Like, to me, I don't think it'll happen. I think Ohio State will at least get to 10 wins. But if they were to go 9-3, still with the strength of schedule that they have, you would make that case. And we've talked a lot about non-conference games in recent seasons. Well, Ohio State's playing Texas. Michigan's playing Oklahoma. Michigan State's playing Notre Dame. Outside of that, you're not going to see a lot of big non-conference games for the Big Ten schools. And that's something to consider. When you have a schedule like Ohio State has, and you have a trip to Texas on top of it, I mean, it calls into question, is the committee going to value those things? Now, like I said, I think Ohio State will get the wins necessary to be in the playoff anyway. But Indiana certainly got a much easier schedule, even though they're playing 4 ranked opponents.
I've seen some early top 25s. Last week, they kind of saw man versus machine area. Do you guys do one of those? I mean, do you see much change with Indiana? I saw one Indiana at 1, Ohio State 2, Oregon, around 3 or 4, and then I've seen some flipped with Ohio State 1. Do you guys have one? Where do you guys kind of see those top 3 Big Ten teams going into the season in the top 25?
I mean, our magazine has Indiana at number 1. It's kind of the whole Ric Flair theory, right? I mean, they do have a lot of talent coming back too with Josh Hoover. We have Ohio State at number 2, and then we have I'm cheating here real quick. We have Oregon number 6. Yeah, okay. And the rest of our top 5 would be Georgia at 3, Texas at 4, Notre Dame at 5. So, I mean, and any one of those top 6, as you go and look at all of the yearbooks, because we're not the only one. You'll have Athlon, ESPN, Lindy's. I think any one of those number 6 of those 6 teams could fit in as at number 1. And then you start to get into those other Big Ten teams like USC. Speaking of schedules in the Big Ten, the one with the easiest one by far is going to be Penn State. They have road trips to Michigan. They have a road trip to Washington. They're at home against USC. And those are the only ranked teams on their schedule coming into this year. So that's a thing that also needs to be addressed, right? When you have an 18-team league, you're going to have some seriously unbalanced schedules.
Bill, our cameras change when someone speaks, not when they smile, but when you talked about Notre Dame, when you said the name Notre Dame, Bodie smiled over here. You didn't see his face on the camera, but he did. Outside of the top 10, looking at your Sporting News rankings, outside of the top 10, who is most likely to compete for a national championship?
Oh my! You're gonna.
I know. I'm gonna make you work.
You're gonna take a swing here. Maybe like some of your listeners might laugh, but I would say LSU could be that team, right? They're not ranked in the top 10, but they have Sam Leavitt. He brought in a ton of talent from the portal. They're part of another unbalanced schedule, and Lane. We're gonna see if Lane can work with that. And they were the one team that kind of, if you want to talk about a boomer bust team outside the top 10, I think Lane Kiffin has that at LSU. We know they typically have enough talent to make those runs, but it sneaks up on you a little bit that we've had the college football playoff for 12 years. And LSU, of all those schools and all the success they've had, they've only been there once. Granted, that was a really good one time with Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase, but that's the team to keep an eye on, in my opinion.
Is there anybody from the Big Ten outside the top 10? Like I'm guessing it's going to have to be USC is probably that team, or maybe even Penn State with their schedule, but maybe having that chance to be in, that top 8 of, the end of the season going into the playoffs?
Yeah, we have USC at 10, but again, their schedule also pretty difficult. They're going to have to take care of their home games where they definitely, they play Ohio State at home. Very much looking forward to that game as well. And they're going to have to show that they can play some defense. Penn State would probably be the one based on that schedule. And then Michigan, another team. Ohio State has the toughest schedule in the Big Ten. Michigan would be next. I mean, they play Oklahoma, Iowa, Penn State, Indiana. All of those are at home. And then they have late season games at Ohio State and Oregon. So, there's a team to keep an eye on in terms of how they do in year one with Kyle Whittingham. But that's another brutal Big Ten schedule.
He is a legend, Bill Bennett of Sporting News. Bill, when you talk, Kyle Whittingham at Michigan, Matt Campbell, Penn State, out of those 2, which one do you think has more success this season?
Well, I think based on the schedule, you could say Matt Campbell and Penn State have a better chance to go 10-2. I think at Michigan, if they went 9-3 last year, but you knew it wasn't the 9-3 you would think, right? Because their schedule was very soft. And then when they played on the road at Oklahoma, they got beat up. When they played on the road at USC, they got beat up. Ohio State obviously went up there and won convincingly. I think because of the schedules, Penn State would probably have a little bit of a better record, but I could see both teams ending up in that 9-3, perhaps 8-4, and they end up in that range where they're like between 15 and 18 in the college football playoff rankings. They do play, and I think when they do play in the Big House, Michigan will be favored.
Well, bringing up Michigan, last week Eric Weddle came out saying he went to practice. He's watched some film on Bryce Underwood up there. Wouldn't be surprised if the backup was playing at some point in the season. Give us a little bit on the backup. I think it's the Carr's brother from Notre Dame. And is that even, you think that's a possibility, or is this just, him getting some headlines?
I would think Bryce Underwood starts the season as the starter. There's no doubt in that. Now you have Tommy Carr behind him, but there was a lot of inconsistency. There was a lack of development for Bryce Underwood last year, particularly in the second half of the season. There is tremendous arm talent. He has some ability, but I'm always quick to remind people that, look at the receiver position at Michigan and now compare that to Ohio State. They picked up a Texas transfer. Andrew Marsh was their leading receiver last year, and they haven't had a first-round pick. I pull this stat out on here all the time. They haven't had a first-round pick since Braylon Edwards. So it's been that's a draw. That's a drought. That's more than a drought. I don't even know what you would call that at that point. So some of it has to do with who they're throwing to. Some of it will be the new offensive coordinator. But I think without a doubt, Bryce Underwood will be their starter in week 1.
I know you're a national reporter, but, when Ohio State is good, it's good for business. I'm not saying you root for Ohio State, but it's not a bad thing for you personally when Ohio State is good. You're also an OU grad. When the Bobcats do well, you enjoy that, I'm sure, also because you are that guy. After those two, is there a team you root for?
Well, I think you need to have, from a media standpoint, business is good when Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Notre Dame are good. Is that a good answer? Because
sure.
I think you want those programs to drive the storylines in this part of the country. I mean, at least in my entire lifetime, Penn State joining the Big Ten a little bit later, but it's always been that power struggle between Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan. So when many of those teams are doing well, or when the Big Ten has those teams, and in general, being in this part of the country, I mean, Indiana, that didn't hurt having the Big Ten win a third national championship because it was such a different story, right, Tito? Like we never dreamed that Indiana was going to win a national title. So we're going to see if Oregon, if they were able to be the fourth team to do that from the Big Ten, that would be even better for the conference. So given my, Twitter base and those kind of things, my followers, it's always good when Big Ten teams are doing well.
Bill, you're the man. Thank you so much, buddy. We will talk again next week. Have a great week, and I guess go Bobcats.
Yeah, go Bobcats, always. I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
All right, we will do that next week. Thank you so much, Bill Bennett, for joining us. Sporting News. Coming up next, we'll do some quick hitters, Morning Juice.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you think of brands that are customer focused, one thing they all have in common is that their values and commitment to quality have been passed from one generation to the next. With 3 generations in the roofing industry, Our family has built a reputation on honesty, transparency, and consistency. Our commitment to the customer will show through all of our team members as they make sure that every customer is completely satisfied. When it comes to your roofing needs, work with a company built around family. Call Newman Roofing today.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
What's up, Reese? Hey, Bo. Didn't we do a 5K fun run last year? Yeah, I think we did. Do you want to do it again this year? Sure. All right.
Registration for the Fan 5K is now open. Join your favorite personalities June 20th at Otterbein University. The Fan 5K features a medal, t-shirt, free race photos, and a post-race party.
Get your spot today at 971therace.com.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
Knee pain's something I lived with since the big game, and I'm all over surgeries. That's how I found QC Kinetics. I was able to get in, see the doctors, do the treatment, and get my knee feeling basically brand new. I can work out, run, most importantly, chase my son around the house and the yard, and do my job without any pain.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Hey, folks, Bobby not here. JC, Tito, Bodie, Isaiah learning the ropes. We just had a conversation, that Fan 5K. Tyvus is supposed to run the 40. And then, people can watch it and try to duplicate or beat it. It'll be Tyvus's first day back from paternity leave. I am not saying, because look at me, I'm not saying Tyvus is fat. I'm also not saying Tyvus is in football shape. But, and you said 4 something for Tyvus. I'm saying over 5.
Football shape is different than running 140.
I don't think.
As long as he doesn't, I'm not going to say it, but
Yeah.
I mean, if he stays healthy throughout the entire thing,
okay,
he should be under a 5.
What I'm going to try to do at the next break, top of the hour, I'm going to try to get Tyvus on the phone, and we'll see what he thinks he can run. And I do think it's over 5, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Bodie, take the wheel.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Monday. We'll start here in the NFL. Currently, there are 11 teams in the National Football League that play their home games outside of their namesake city, but it appears a 12th could be joining that list very, very soon, because on Thursday last week, the Bears Board of Directors voted to advance their stadium development in Hammond, Indiana, with the exact site still to be determined. This is the first time that the Bears Board has voted on any stadium site. And then on Friday of last week, the team released a statement in support of the move to the Hoosier State. The announcement Friday does not guarantee that the team will be leaving Illinois, but per a league source, Indiana is in the league. Illinois has got to get back in the race here to keep them right there downtown in Chicago. So, Tito, after 100 years of playing their home games in the Prairie State, a move to IU and Indiana would, I don't know, it'd be kind of strange, it feels like.
It would be weird. But I accept the fact, though, Bodie, that, first of all, breaking news, I don't live in Chicago. I've never been to a Bears game. As a fan of sports, I like the idea of the history, Soldier Field, all that. All those things, Dick Butkus and Jim McMahon, Walter Payton, all those guys out there. I love all of that. But if they move, it doesn't affect me. And what I don't want, Bodie, is taxpayer money going towards billionaires' stadiums. I don't want taxpayers' money going to fund something that a billionaire can pay for on his own.
Why not?
That part bothers me. But so wherever they go, I know that Reeser has said he likes the idea of the Gary Bears. Thinks that'd be funny.
And what do they call
the
them?
Hammond Bears? Yeah. Will they say Chicago Bears? I'm not sure. Like, another state.
I think they stay with Chicago.
Yeah, it's another state, but it's still, there's some teams that are further away from the stadium
Oh, for sure.
So
Like, it's just right on the other
look
side
at the
of that.
Giants and Jets are both in New Jersey. No one ever
Yeah.
says New Jersey Giants, New Jersey Jets. And so for a long time, Cleveland, like, I don't know, when they move, they're going to be further away from Cleveland.
The Brook Park Browns.
Right,
Yeah.
but they're not going to change the name. So
maybe they should.
Maybe they should change a lot
Fresh
of things,
start.
right? Yeah, call them the Cleveland Reds. Anyway, but though I hope they don't move, but it's not going to affect my life if they do.
Yeah, I don't care. If I feel like at some point in time, you got to do what you got to do. And if the city is messing with you and not going to work with you, and like we're trying to keep this here, we want this to be here for the fans, but we need you guys to do a little bit of help here and help us out. They're not going to do it. Indiana's saying, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to help you guys. We would love to have it. This would be great. I mean, for the Bears organization, I understand them saying, all right, well, that's a better deal for us, and that's going to be better longevity of our, program and all that good stuff.
Can you imagine two?
It's going to be wild, though.
Two teams, if there would be two NFL teams in Indiana and none in Illinois at that point, that's amazing to me. But the way I look at it, though, it's like, and I think I said this yesterday or Saturday or whatever, but like it's if the Bears are playing in Toronto, if they're the Toronto Bears, if I've got money on the game or fantasy football implications, I'm still going to watch it. I don't care where they play. They could be the Syria Bears. That's extreme. But they could do that, though.
Yeah, it's like you
I'd
don't
still
care
watch
the
it.
name or where they're from.
I'd still watch
You're
it.
going to tune in because you got implications for the season, or they're in your conference, and you got a game going on. So
absolutely,
it's the old thing. We're always going to tune in. It doesn't matter where they play, but I can understand why they'd say, all right, we're getting the heck out of here.
All right, guys, next up here, if you're looking to light some money on fire, I've got quite the opportunity for you here because the Cavaliers are auctioning off the courtside chairs that Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Timothée Chalamet, Kylie Jenner, Ben Stiller, and Machine Gun Kelly sat in for games 3 and 4 out of the Eastern Conference Finals. If you guys wanted to take a shot in the dark amongst those names who chairs going for the highest bid, probably didn't take you too long to guess that. That would be Taylor Swift. Right now, let's see.
Do they have the number up there?
Yes, they do. Game 3, you guys want to take a shot in the dark at what the current bid sits at with still 6 days left in the bidding.
Swifty, there's some Swifty dad out there who's loaded $25K.
Wow. I was going to say under that. I would say $15K.
6,000. You guys are
okay,
way out.
good.
Now, there's still a week left in the bidding,
Well,
so we'll see. Next highest one, let me see here, is current bid $525 for Game 3 of Travis Kelce's chair, and then another bit of a drop-off down to $385 for Game 4 for Ben Stiller's chair.
So they're going to be giving MGKs away.
And this is all by the Cavs.
Let's see here.
The Cavs are putting this out there.
Well, they teamed up with some memorabilia company that the Jets are part of or something along those lines. And, if you don't get swept in that series and it actually meant something, now I know the coach, analytically we almost won that series. Or maybe we should have. Yeah, we should have won that series. So maybe that's why. But it's like, wow, here's some memorabilia from us getting beaten 4. Go ahead and sell it.
This surprises
and you're making
me.
so little as far as the organization goes. Like, is $6,000 really moving the needle for you?
I think they could make more money if they said they were going to burn the chairs or break the chairs. What they're going to do, shred the chairs somehow in some kind of metal shredder, and then give pieces of that away, versus selling the actual chairs. Look, I know Scotty Vegas here at the Fan. He famously has a chair signed by Bobby Knight, a folding chair.
That's a good.
It's not the folding chair.
No, but it's an idea.
So the fact Knight did that, that's different for me than the actual chairs. This feels like loser mentality for the Cavs. Like, hey, we got our butts kicked. We want to make money on the other end. Let's sell the chairs these guys sat in. I think that's a bad look for them. Now, if it's just the company, and they don't say it's associated with the Cavs, like just the company says, hey, we want to sell those chairs, that's different than if, hey, the Cavs and this company want to sell the chairs.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now maybe they're just doing a reno and they're just getting rid of chairs, and maybe this is just a way to try and pump some of that up. I think but I don't like it. And if we were still in the games and we were still going, maybe one thing.
Yeah.
But we got our butts kicked, and we're not playing in the finals.
Yeah, maybe
the team that beat us is
from something that was a little bit more of a championship run.
Yeah.
If Cleveland comes out
like something more special, like, hey, have one of the chairs from the best season we've ever had.
Here's one of the balls from the 2016 finals against Golden State or something like that.
Different.
Way different. We had a team come in and their fans sat in these seats. So we're gonna sell the seats that their fans sat in, except for these two.
Although maybe Knicks fans are so
Well, they're crazy enough. They might go, yeah.
that,
And that's why they're thinking maybe we're going to get something out of this.
Have you guys seen the kid who's sitting outside of MSG just saying Jalen Brunson's name 100,000 times on a live stream? I
have not.
No.
He's sitting out.
Are you kidding me?
Sitting outside the Garden. He might still be there. I don't even know. I saw it on Twitter yesterday. He was at like 40,000, so he's only halfway there.
Oh.
He was just sitting there going, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson. He was every time he'd say it.
Kid's gonna be a
he'd hit
millionaire by the time they play tonight.
On his, he'd hit the space. Oh, my laptop's going crazy there. He'd hit the space bar on his laptop to count it. And he was just sitting on a YouTube, or I don't know, social media, I guess, in general, live stream, just saying Jalen Brunson's name.
Wouldn't that be something? You're like, hey, what you got going on this week?
Well, actually, Sunday before Game 3, or Game 3.
I'm going to start Sunday because it's going to take me until Monday night. I'm just going to sit out there and say this guy's name 100,000 times.
When you mentioned Golden State, okay, the ball that LeBron blocked.
Yes.
Do you think Golden State would say, hey, we're going to auction that off?
Right? Yeah.
I don't think they would.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, this is from when we lost, when we were up 3-1.
Yeah, this is one of the greatest plays in NBA history.
We're gonna sell
LeBron
it.
James does it. How about we sell it, make money? No, I think they would donate it to Cleveland. Say if you want to auction it off, go ahead. But I don't think Golden State would say, hey, we're going to auction this off. This is is the moment that we lost a 3-1 lead in the NBA championship.
But we can make 10 grand. So
I don't think they would do it. Yeah.
No.
I don't think Dan Gilbert's hurting for money either.
No, I agree.
How about this guy? Speaking of the Knicks and that crazy fan base, they're calling the man Nickstradamus. Back in 2020, Evan Fugger was a graduating senior at Kings Park High School in Long Island, New York. And for his quote in his senior yearbook, here's what he wrote. 6 simple words. Knicks in 6 in 2026 NBA Finals. The now 23-year-old was asked by the New York Post about the prediction, and Evan simply said, quote, it's so simple. Knicks in 6 in 2026 rhymes so incredibly well. He also added that his parents weren't thrilled, recalling that they had asked him at the time, Evan, why would you do this? And now apparently his dad is asking him, are you even human? And those who also put the yearbook together for the school made sure he didn't want to have any of his honor societies or other accomplishments, along with the now semi-famous quote, to which Evan told them, nope, I just want Knicks in 6. So, Tito, it might be Knicks in 4 or 5, but 6 years for calling your shot for a
impressive
team that is for a 23-year-old kid his entire life.
Well, that team looked totally different back then. I mean,
well,
half these guys weren't even fair,
frankly,
but
but it's like, I mean, Tito, 23-year-old kid has never seen the Knicks make the conference finals at that point, and now his prediction might be off by a game or two, but I think that's still a heck of a call.
Do either of you remember if you had and what your quote was for your yearbook?
Never had one. Yeah.
Never had one. Did you, Jay-Z?
I was thinking about that as we were talking about. No, I don't remember.
You don't think you had one? I don't know if I don't think I did not.
I don't think I did. I would have probably said something stupid though, because I would have been like, I'm gonna say something cool, and then 25 years later, you're like, what was I thinking?
That guy's an idiot.
Yeah, that guy's an idiot. You let me do this, Mom and Dad, and they're like, we told you.
Yeah, I don't think I have one either. Now I'm thinking about it, but the quotes though are very. It's funny how they come out like that. But Knicks is 6 and 26. Good for him.
I mean, look, man. That's incredible.
When they make it in 4, I don't know what's going to happen.
But you know what?
Yeah,
if you're off by a game or two,
you're still winning the
that's
championship in 26. That's pretty wild.
If you're 6 years almost to the dot, but it's 5 years, 11 and a half, or 11 months and 3 weeks, I think that's still a pretty good call.
But here's the problem though with that, Bodie, is that now, if it happens or comes close, say the Knicks do win in 5, like you said, or maybe 4, whatever it is, or 6.
If they win, he's going to be very close, right?
Right.
I mean,
and so
regardless,
then what happens is you'll have people that are like graduate in 28, like
Yeah.
Raptors are great
that.
in 28, or whatever.
Yeah.
Things like you'll have all these other ones now will ruin their quotes.
He was still
whatever
the first,
rhymes
though.
with
Right.
the year,
Right.
like 32.
Celtics are fine in 29. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's Lakers get dirty in 2030.
Now,
all
what would
those
really
things.
make this nice is if he came out and was like, "Listen, I even bet it back then."
That would have been cool.
Like I had so much, I put
Even though
I
it's
put
17.
$5,000 on it.
Yeah,
you know,
put
like,
on whatever it is.
I'm gonna make $1
illegally.
million.
Yeah,
All my
right.
graduation money.
Yeah.
I had Sorsby put
Knicks
a bet
in
for me
26.
down on Indiana is going to be fun in 2031. Something like that. If you had Sorsby do it for you, that'd be even better.
Which would have been a better call in 2020? The Indiana football winning a national championship or the Knicks winning the
Indiana
finals?
football.
I mean, it's probably Indiana,
It's
but
got to be Indiana football.
the Knicks haven't exactly had the greatest
Well, they haven't,
2.5
but
decade
in the
run
NBA,
either,
you can
but,
you get a
yeah.
couple
You
players,
can
and all of a
fall
sudden things
into it a little bit
switch
easier.
around real
Yeah.
quick. But that Indiana football one is
No, and the Knicks thing too, like they were realistic options at any point in that last 10, 12 years for LeBron. Like it was, New York was an option for LeBron.
fact
It was like
that the Knicks
anytime he was doing something,
Yes.
like New York might be a landing spot.
Yes.
The fact that they've been so bad this century is
it's amazing.
hard to believe.
It probably
Like,
goes
they're one
against
of
the probabilities of what it should look
Exactly.
like. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the Browns. Like statistically, they shouldn't be this bad over 26 years
Eventually.
or since they came back, but they
found
have.
a way.
They
Yes.
found a way.
The Knicks have found a way, and even back then, like when they were 99, it was the last appearance in the finals, but all those battles with the Pacers and Reggie Miller, and they were not fun to watch. It was very much a defensive battle. You'd see a lot of games in their series like 82 to 79 kind of finals, which you'd have today after three quarters of scored 82-79. But nonetheless, I think that the Pacers or the Hoosiers much more unlikely to be where they're at versus where the Knicks are at now. Just because the Pacers have got so many, like at least the Knicks, they won it in 73 was the last championship, but also were competitive a lot of times. God, Indiana was never competitive. Never. Like they were homecoming games. They were. You scheduled Indiana.
I mean, Kevin Wilson would get them to 8-4.
Yeah, I mean, they would have a couple. Yeah, they would start off
Heck
strong,
of a
and then
win,
they'd get into
yeah.
the meat of the schedule, and then they would lose a few games. But we had a couple close games, I feel like, against Indiana when he was there.
Well, I think that's what cost.
Like one touchdown game, maybe like 52-48 or something, or is that Maryland that I'm thinking?
That one might have been Maryland in
Maryland,
2018.
okay. All right.
But
Yeah, red and white.
I think in the COVID year, which Indiana was pretty good with Penix. They kind of gave Ohio State Ohio State got
a little
big.
bit. I think we pulled away at the end.
They came
maybe.
back.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there was one year, this is probably 9 or 10 years ago at this point, but Ohio State went to IU. I think it was like a Thursday night week 1 game. And IU kind of was like in it until the second half, and then Ohio State pulled away. But yeah, for the most part,
I'll tell you what, going out there this year is going to be a way different away football game for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, usually you're doing OHIO in that stadium by like the middle of the second quarter, and it's not going to be that way this year.
Ohio State, I believe that's the one that may have cost Earl Bruce's job when Ohio State was the number 9 team in the country. And lost to Ohio State, lost Indiana 31-10, and that may have been when they got rid of Earl Bruce after that, shortly after that, and that's when they had the
headbands for the Michigan game.
Yes, the Earl headbands they had with that one. But it was Bruce's 9th year. They went 6-4-1 that year, but they lost 3 straight. Indiana was early this season, it wasn't them. But anyway, so after they lost Indiana, they beat Purdue, beat Minnesota. So now at that point. They're sit with 1 loss and 1 tie in the season. They had tied LSU on the road. But then they lost to Michigan State, Wisconsin, Iowa, 3 straight. That's when they fired Bruce. And then Ohio State went on to beat Michigan, but then declined going to a bowl game. So anyway, Indiana was a tough loss there, but it was not the one that cost him his job, I would think. So coming up next, by the way, Ty has not gotten back to me. That lazy bum is sleeping.
He should be up feeding a baby or something.
I would think if he was a good dad, good husband, he probably would. I'm not going to criticize him, though, but honestly, he's falling short. Luke Montgomery says Ohio State's offensive line is healthy, motivated to make up for last season. We'll talk about that next. This is Morning Juice.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up, or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief.
Hi, I'm Bobby Carpenter.
And I'm Jake Ballard.
And we are both QC Kinetics believers. We are both pain-free in the knees.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation.
We have a desire and passion for great customer service. Every detail is important to us. From your first phone call to the end of the project, Newman is here to help you every step of the way. We're here to educate you so you understand what's happening with your roof. We're in your corner to help you be confident in your decision. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. We are Newman.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite Fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Bobby played for the Dallas Cowboys. Tito wears assless chaps.
I'm dead sexy.
You're locked into Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. God, second out of the program. Jay-Z is flying by.
Flew by.
Ben C in the chat says, my buddy and I were just sharing stories of Jay Zwick.
Oh, boy.
Meeting him at the house on the 18th green years ago at the Memorial and him trying to steal hot dogs from the grill. Do you have any recollection of that? And did you, in fact, try to steal hot dogs from a grill?
I remember back in the day possibly being out there.
Right.
At a couple of house parties. The hot dogs are free.
Look, I was saying,
they're
on
for
a grill,
everybody,
if you're
Tito.
out there at a house, the hot dogs, I would think, are
Yeah,
they're
if
community property.
If I'm at the house and,
Right.
I'm getting drinks at said
Yes.
house, then I
Yes.
feel like the hot dog goes with the drinks.
I don't think you...
But I am a big hot dog guy, so yeah, that sounds about right. And at that point in time, I was probably looking to get something in me.
You might have. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's fair to say that Jay-Z was stealing hot dogs.
Yeah, I mean, stealing, I don't know.
That's a strong
I don't know
word
if I was, ripping hot dogs out of people's hands and, like, shoving them down.
If I open up my house to a holiday or celebration of and I'm out there with a bunch of hot dogs on the grill, honestly, take what you want. Right? I don't think that's fair by Ben.
Those houses
yes.
during the memorial are take what you want for the most part.
Those people aren't hurting for money at all.
Well, I remember, there were some shenanigans back in our day. I felt bad for the people whose house, some shenanigans.
I talked to somebody the other day, and they said they had like 200 people at their house. Oh. And I'm like, that's insane. I can't imagine
after it rains,
yeah,
and everybody's coming in, you got the mud everywhere.
Oh,
I mean, those companies are having to deep clean these houses. I mean, they do anyways, but
I would be nice guy hosting. But as soon as the rain hits,
I'm
a jerk. I'm like, guys, no one go upstairs. Don't even think about using the steps.
Shoes off on the deck.
Shoes off.
Yeah.
Yes, do all of that. I don't want to see any of that. Luke Montgomery talking about Ohio State's offensive line. It's great to have the guys back. Everyone's back and healthy. It's fun to see the guys moving around. They got fresh legs now, so they should be good to go. This is him talking at the Memorial Tournament with several hot dogs in his mouth. So we don't want to repeat history in that matter from last year. When adversity hits, you learn a lot about yourself, and we learned a lot about where we're at and when we've got to grow and become what we have to grow and become this upcoming season. The Ohio State offensive line, I thought, the championship season, they had to overcome some adversity and injuries that got a lot of guys experience. And so they had depth last year. Had injuries again, obviously in the spring. We talked about that, like where they had some injuries there. But it feels like the OL's on the right path right now.
Yeah, anytime you can come back and have 4 out of your 5 starters returning on the offensive line, huge deal. Finding that 5th spot, or that 5th person, or how that looks is going to be the interesting part, because we think we have some guys who can step in and play that right guard.
Right.
We just weren't able to see them during spring because they were kind of nicked up and going through some of that. So you think you feel good about that, talking with some of the guys like on the Buckeye Cruise, I'm like, just a little bit because I don't want to bug them with it. But it's like, hey, who do you guys think? And there was all the confidence in the world for guys who were playing right guard, and they feel good about that. Like there wasn't we're gonna have to see. It was like, oh no, he can play. Like we're set there. We're good there. So that that confidence is great. Anytime you have that many guys coming back, you just feel really good about it. And with what Luke's kind of talking about here, is like, well, what people remember about that offensive line is the last 2 games, maybe.
That's all it is.
Where it didn't look so good,
right?
So having that many guys coming back that just went through that experience at the end of the season, realizing like, all right, we got to step this up. We're going to probably see a lot of this coming up next year, just because people think now this is the way to attack us. We got to dig in on this and really be that offensive line that we expect to be. And I think this year is going to be it. If they can stay healthy. Now, we know that happens, and we've seen it. You talked about it. But if they can stay healthy, I think this offensive line has a chance to be really solid.
I feel good about the depth.
Yeah.
I do. But a couple injuries, it could change.
But even then, you just don't know. Because the
Yes.
offensive line is such you want those guys to just gel with each other so much,
Right.
and just be up there and just know exactly what's going to happen. So when you start putting, some pieces in, if you do have an injury, it can take some time. Now, 2 years ago, we had Will McLaughlin go down the middle of Michigan week. We had to bring Donovan Jackson in to play guard when he was playing tackle. So you can figure it out. I don't mean to say that, but going into the year, if we have 5 or 6 studs that we know, like these all guys could be starters.
Yes.
And we feel really good about it. Even if you start throwing a 7th or 8th in with these younger ones that, they're really coming along. They might be a little bit young, but maybe by the middle of the year, end of the year, they're going to get it, kind of like Luke Montgomery did 2 years ago, because he went in the playoffs and really started giving us something. So
it's so interesting too, Jay-Z, when the injuries happen. Yep. Like if you get a guy, you lose somebody, it's like, oh, this guy's out 2 weeks, and the next 2 games like Northwestern and Purdue.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
No, not a bad
If a guy gets hurt, though, it's like the next game is
we're going out to USC
Oregon
or
USC
Oregon,
or whatever, Indiana. It's like, oh, man, this is now bad.
Yeah, and that's, that was the one good thing I think about spring is, well, we missed maybe some of those guys who we think could be or should be the starter in those positions, but all these young guys had to get those reps. They had to step in there and see what it was going to be about. So as much as we'd have liked the guys who we think are going to be the starters getting those reps in spring, it's really good to get those young guys those reps and get them the feeling of, all right, this is what it's going to take. This is where I need to be. And over the summer, I need to get better at such and such and such, because if something happens, they're going to rely on me.
Because it's June, CBS Sports ranked the top 15 most impactful college football games of the upcoming season. That's what we're all going to do. We're going to talk about things like that. Number 15, Big 12 championship game. Number 14, Texas A&M on November 27th. That game, I love the fact that's being played where it is, and I love the fact that they're playing again. But Texas A&M and SEC matchup, that's going there. At 13, BYU Utah. And Bodie, I saw this in the notes that came over when I looked at what CBS Sports, they called it the Holy War. Are they still calling it the Holy War, or have they decided to change the phrasing of that because of PC and life? Do you know?
I think it's still the Holy War,
It's still
as far
the
as I
Holy War.
know. Sure.
Because there's
Says
almost
it
they've
right there
changed,
on the
right?
page, the
I
Holy
understand,
War.
but there's almost they've changed, right? They've changed like is the Oregon State game?
Yeah, it used
Did
to
they
be the
change it?
Civil War.
Right, and now
Yeah,
they changed
I
like
don't
the.
think it is.
I don't know if they call it the border war. They call it something
They've
else.
changed Texas,
You had the
Oklahoma.
Red River
times.
shootout.
Used to be
and
shootout,
that's
now
the
it's a
Red River
rivalry.
rivalry now.
Yeah.
All right, so BYU Utah.
So much
November
harder to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Ohio State at USC is number 12 on the list. That's on Halloween. Could be a night game. We will see about that. We know it's not going to be a big noon kickoff because it's at USC, which would be 9 a.m. out there. But nonetheless, that Ohio State-USC game, by the time they play on Halloween, it might not mean nearly as much depending on how USC does. But the fact that USC is hanging a recruiting banner in the stadium, I think if they don't, they should, just because we make fun of it then. But that is an impactful game. And just because I've seen too many times when Ohio State goes out there to play USC and it has not ended well, I asked this question to you without knowing if you ever played at USC, but I know Ohio State had a couple of bad loss at USC. Have you lost or played at USC?
No.
I feel so much better about
Never
that
been
then.
out there.
Okay. Should be a big game, though, on Halloween if USC lives up to the hype.
Well, that's the thing. Every year going into the football season is, Lincoln
Right.
Riley has
Yes.
really done it this year. He's got the team to get him over the top. And, then they lose 4 or 5 games because their defense can't stop anybody. And
Right.
their offense, kind of runs out of steam towards the end of the year. But, maybe this is the year. That'd be a huge get for him if the Buckeyes went out there and somehow they were able to get that win. That'd be a signature win for him at USC, I think. But
It'd be his best.
Well, it'd be his best. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
It'd be the signaturist win.
Signaturist win. So
there you go.
We'll see, but I don't know if they have enough.
Oklahoma, Michigan on September 12th is number 11 on the list. That'll be a big one. Oregon, USC, September 26th. God, USC's got a lot of pressure on them. Michigan, Ohio State is number 9 on the list. And it says conference realignment hasn't changed the game. Playoff expansion hasn't changed it. NIL hasn't changed it. Michigan, Ohio State still represent college football's greatest rivalry. Nonetheless, 9 on the list. So Ohio State's got 2 other games in front of it. And I understand the traditionalists, the people who are old as me or older than me, probably think, oh, this should be higher. But this feels about right.
I don't know, though. I mean, you got Michigan in the top 15 in a lot of these things, right? So, I mean, you have a chance to have a top 10 matchup at the end of the year in the rivalry game. That seems better. That seems better than 9 to me.
Here's the next one: LSU at Texas on November 14th.
And Texas is just going to run through everybody if you listen to Sarkisian.
And LSU has Lane Kiffin,
second and third team.
But that's the one that's in front of it. Also, Ohio State at Texas, September 12th. I think that's probably more important this year than Ohio State, Michigan. More impactful. Listen, I'm not talking about
that, Tito.
No, listen, I'm not talking about all of our feelings as Ohio people.
No, I'm not either. But if you lose a game, when is it better to lose a game in college football?
Early.
Okay.
So
the Michigan Ohio State game has more consequence at the end of the year if it's 2 good teams. Like, I would rather lose the Texas game and have Michigan be for all the marbles, which would put it above.
I am not going to let your facts and your knowledge get in the way of my.
As well, but I feel like it'd be better to lose early on than to lose.
You're right.
In November, especially after the last 5 years where we've taken one of them.
Ohio State, Texas is very important as long as Ohio State wins. Number 6 is Georgia at Alabama. Big game always.
Yeah, always a big game.
Okay, number 5.
They've played a lot in recent years too.
They have, and it's always.
Which I don't understand how the SEC, cycles through their games.
I don't know either.
I mean, do you guys know when A&M joined the conference? I know what it is.
Okay, I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess 2015.
2012.
Holy smokes.
Do you know how many times they've played Georgia since joining the SEC 14 years ago?
4.
2.
1.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember that matchup hardly.
I don't even understand how that's possible.
So they've been in there for 13 years.
Yeah,
and they've only played them one time.
They've never played in College Station.
That's bizarre.
That is. I mean, you start thinking about these big like with the Penn State schedule this year, like they got nobody.
Yeah.
Hardly,
right.
You know, like
it's
you got to be able to figure that. I mean, what do you do? The top 8 teams in your league have
I
to
just
play
don't
each other
understand how there hasn't been a cycle through of you guys haven't at least had a home and home?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Look, this seems to me like the whole when they anoint a pope. Like, we don't know what all they talk about in there, but then the smoke comes up. It's like, oh, this is the guy. We don't know how or why or that's the guy.
Craig Sankey just
releases that schedule. The smoke comes out. No, A&M Georgia not this year.
Not going to happen.
Okay, let's go top 5 now. Oregon at Ohio State, November 7th. That'll be kind of important.
That's a big game. I mean,
Miami at Notre Dame.
Ooh.
Do you want to talk about it or let Bodie talk about it?
No, please let
Okay, Bodie, that is 4th too low, or is that about right?
I think that's fair. I mean, you could probably take the top 7 or 8 games and kind of mix them up and spit them out. I mean, because I'll let you read the next one there.
Yeah, Big Ten championship game is 3rd.
I mean, I think you can make the argument that the loser of that game should be in still pretty good shape, or maybe the loser of Notre Dame Miami would be hurt more. So maybe Notre Dame Miami could be above the Big Ten title game, but.
Well, really, any of the conference championship games, if you're in the conference championship game, you're making the playoff, right?
Yeah.
So those
at
two
least
games,
the SEC and Big Ten.
Yeah, well, fair.
Big 12 and ACC, maybe hit or miss, especially if you're a 5-loss team playing for the SEC championship game.
Come on, seriously.
But, so I don't, it's the Big Ten championship game feels like the winner.
It's a big game, but it's
it'll be a huge game.
You just want both teams to come out healthy because you got games to play.
Exactly. It's hard to see a scenario where the loser of that game is not in the 12-team playoff. And probably, honestly, I'm trying to think here. So Ohio State lost last year, and they still hosted. And then 2 years ago, Penn State lost, and they still – or I'm sorry, Ohio State lost last year. They still got a bye.
They got a bye,
2 years ago, Penn State lost, and they still hosted.
Right.
They're in the first round. So, the loser of that game's going to be in pretty good shape.
Yep.
Ohio State at Indiana, number 2 on the list, and then followed by the SEC championship game. That's fine because it's the SEC.
Similar to the Big Ten, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Ohio State and Indiana could be number 1, though. I think just because of everything around that game.
Yeah, and I mean, now Ohio State obviously has to go to Texas and then Illinois and Iowa. They go to Illinois, host Iowa, I think, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Illinois here.
Illinois
here.
here.
Okay.
Yep.
So flip that. So a little bit tougher on that stretch, but IU. I mean, their schedule, and let me get it pulled up here real quick.
They're going to be undefeated coming into that game.
They're non-conference.
I mean, as long as if we get Texas, and that's two undefeated teams, the two past national champions going at it. The biggest game in Indiana history. That's going to be a big one.
Okay.
IU, North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky in the non-con, host Northwestern at Rutgers at Nebraska before Ohio State.
Fine,
so they'll almost. It's hard to not see them being undefeated for that game. Yeah.
Okay, so when you look at this, Ohio State at Indiana, October 17th. I'm going to give you some games here. Just keep in your mind there. Ohio State, Indiana, Miami at Notre Dame, Oregon at Ohio State, Georgia at Alabama, and Ohio State at Texas. Those games I just mentioned to you. I know the NBA right now with the Knicks, like Game 3 prices getting in are like Super Bowl level just to get into the game.
The highest ever.
Yes, and so that won't be this. But out of those games I just mentioned, I'll go through them again. Ohio State at Texas, Georgia at Alabama, Oregon at Ohio State, Miami at Notre Dame, Ohio State at Indiana. Which one has the highest get-in price at kickoff?
I'm going to say Ohio State, Texas.
Okay, because it's early in the season.
Early in the season,
They're both
everybody's
undefeated.
looking at that. Everybody's circled that first game.
Okay.
And then I think you get a lot of the celebrities and everything coming down for
Right.
it, that kind of thing.
McConaughey's
going to be there. All right.
Yes,
Let's
he'll
go,
be there.
boys. All right, go
Okay,
get 'em.
so you've got Ohio State,
I think
Texas
that was going
is
to be
the most
big,
expensive.
I think that's a big ticket.
What do you have?
Indiana's going to be a close second, though, just because.
That you honestly, I'm kind of in lockstep with you there, JC.
Smaller stadium.
It's so early in the stadium for Ohio State, or early in the season. I'm sorry, for Ohio State, Texas. Both teams have massive expectations this year.
They do,
especially
and
Texas.
huge fan bases that just want to
massive
be at
fan
games,
bases. I mean, this is like the purest of blue bloods you're gonna get, and I think if you're a Texas fan, you're ready for some revenge last year from not only the Ohio State loss, but just kind of a disappointing
Just the way
season.
the season went, yeah.
I mean, they were number one coming into the year. To lose 3 games, it was the
Lose
number
to
one
Florida.
team.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
their backups could win all of A&M.
Everyone, they'd be
Texas
undefeated.
Tech schedule,
Yes.
but
exactly.
they can't go to
Okay.
Gainesville and get that done. But yeah, I would say the game in Austin.
In Texas's history, they've had a number of big games in Austin. Right? They've had, throughout the course of the last, even 20 years, they've had a number of big games there. Indiana has not had a single big game at home, really, that'll rival Ohio
Well, I
State.
mean, the last 2 years, their home games have been big because they've been filled.
Right.
But
nothing
not like
this, though.
Yes, no,
and that's
agreed.
what I'm wondering about. Like, will that make it a bigger price? Because a couple of reasons. One, Ohio State fans who we know travel well and have no problem spending money on tickets. And it's a smaller stadium. What is Memorial Stadium's seat? Is it 60?
Let's see.
That'd be a
going,
great
I'll
thing
look
to
it
do
up.
show prep. Pre-show, I should have done that. But nonetheless, but it'll be a tough ticket because it's 60,000 versus, like, say, 80,000 in other spots. So that's why I wonder if Ohio State, Indiana will be a bigger game. Bodie shook his head, which makes me a little
I love
bit nervous.
when Google's like, there's no set number. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
there's
I'm
a
pretty
number.
sure
There's a
number
number
there.
somewhere about Memorial Stadium in
I bet
Indiana.
it's
in
got to be
Bloomington.
around, what, 80?
I was going to say around 60.
52,000.
No, 52. Even.
Okay, a big deal, right?
Yeah,
like fewer tickets. Ohio State fans will want to buy them up.
Well, and Indiana's probably not going to. I mean, they're going to want to get to the game.
Yeah,
Indiana
no
fans,
doubt
right?
about it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
it'll
it's
be a
going to
tough
be.
ticket.
It is going to be a tough ticket to get.
I remember going to the Ohio State Oregon game a few years back, and Oregon
it's
had
a
a
small
smaller
stadium.
stadium, 60,000, whatever it was, much smaller than Ohio State has, and it was a big time get-in price just for that. I was up like on one of the corners by the end zones and stuff, and I can't remember what we paid. I think we had to trade in because we have Ohio State season tickets, we sold our Michigan tickets. We sold 4 Michigan tickets to get 2 Oregon tickets.
Whew.
I know. I'm not smart. It's okay. Well. Anyway, but that's what happened. But I would think Ohio State, Indiana might be the biggest one of the bunch, just because of that.
That's fair. Yeah.
Fair.
Georgia, Alabama, you mentioned they played a lot.
Yeah,
that one.
I mean, that's something
this
you
is
see.
like either third year in a row,
Right.
or maybe third time
They play
in 4
each other
years.
all the time,
They've
like
played,
the SEC championship
Yeah,
games.
and
Like
they
we've
just
seen
met
that.
last
We've seen
year.
that
Yeah.
game. You know,
They
we've
just
seen
played last year twice.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Oregon,
that happens
Ohio
a lot for
State,
them, yeah.
Ohio State, big stadium, all that. It's like there's more opportunity there. Notre Dame, Miami.
That could be, I mean,
Notre
that's
Dame's
Notre
hosted
Dame.
a lot of big games, though.
Yeah, if you get to that game and they're both undefeated.
In November, yes. At that
That's-
point, I'm
yeah.
saying
Yeah.
right now, though, if you wanted to try get in price, I think Texas might be one.
Yeah.
I would say Ohio State, Indiana might be two. But it's Ohio State no matter how you
That's
slice
exactly
that. Ohio
right.
State
Yeah,
are
one
the
or two.
ones.
Ohio State's there.
Yes, I think Ohio State is the one. By the way, this is also breaking news. Tyvus lazy. The fact that Tyvus has not responded to my text yet, in the break I might go over to the other show and just say, hey, have you guys had Tyvus on yet today? Because if they had, I would be upset about it that Tyvus is disrespecting us. But coming up next, let's talk worst to first. The NFL's most likely turnarounds in 2026. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
When you think of brands that are customer focused, one thing they all have in common is that their values and commitment to quality have been passed from one generation to the next. With 3 generations in the roofing industry, our family has built a reputation on honesty, transparency, and consistency. Our commitment to the customer will show through all of our team members as they make sure that every customer is completely satisfied. When it comes to your roofing needs, work with a company built around family. Call Newman Roofing today.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
So after I got done playing football, I still like to work out, go do all of the activities that I love so much. And unfortunately, I started having a little bit of pain in my knee. That's when I went and saw my friends at QC Kinetics. We were able to go in there, get the consultation, get treated, and now my knees, well, they're as good as new.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
Bobby is the all-American male. Tito pulled a hammy getting his mail. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. I went over there, Bodie, I was going to tell the other guys. Mayfield, I shouldn't say the other guys. Anyway, Bones over there, and I was going to tell him something about Tyvus being lazy, but they were on the air, so I couldn't walk. Well, I could have walked into the studio, I guess. I really have no shame. I've done it before, but I did not do it. But I just texted Tyvus, and here's my exact text to Tyvus, just so everyone knows. By the way, he said, haha. The laziness is a bit concerning. Jay-Z and I were discussing what your 40 time is going to be. I said 5 seconds. He said under. and now Tyvus is responding. So we'll make it Tyvus on to talk about it, which I'd love to hear what he has to say about that. But I still think it's going to be over.
Well, you got to know he's been training a little.
No, he hasn't been. He just had a baby.
Bit.
No, he just had a kid.
Yeah,
You've been through this.
But I have, and I know I couldn't do much to help at times. So you got a half hour to yourself. Go hit a couple 40s.
We're going to call
do some
you
lunges
at 7. What time? We'll do it. Morning.
I'm not
we'll
calling
do,
him. I'll tell you
no,
that
we'll
much,
call him. It's fine. But when are you going to do? Okay, what's got you juice? What time should I tell him to call?
I don't
We're
care
gonna
if that
call
off. I guess the other morning show
7:40.
host. I don't know if he needs to join this show, but you can do whatever you want. So
I'd like to hear what he has to say. I'll say 7:40. I'm going to tell him to call him 7:40. Where's the first? The NFL's most likely turnarounds in 2026, because the NFL is famous, I would say, for have teams that finish fourth in their division that somehow rise up. Then usually it happens one time, sometimes two. And they went through on ESPN and ranked the ones most likely. Number 1, by the way, Jay-Z, seems very easy to me.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, it's not too hard to.
They're a good team. The Lions went 9-8 last year.
Yeah, they had a winning record.
All right, yes, a winning record and a very good team that did not make the playoffs. Odds of winning the division right now, they say 38.2% to be first in the division. Odds of making the playoffs, 68.4%, which is sixth in the NFL. The Lions, it was a tough division last year. I think that it's a good bet that the Lions will make the playoffs this year.
Well, I love this line. Basically it was because of schedule, injuries, and they really weren't that bad.
Right.
So it's just like, but they're going to be the best one to turn it around because they really weren't that bad last year. But, that's how the NFL goes. If you have a couple injuries in bad spots and you don't, you lose a couple close games, and all of a sudden you're just a bad team trying to get out of the gutter.
Number 2 surprised me. It's the New Orleans Saints. They were 6-11 last year. They've got a 19.3% chance of winning the division, according to the ESPN's analytics, and 23.8% chance of making the playoffs. The Saints, look, Tyler Shuck, who's got a weird pronunciation of his name, but that's fine. It's supposed to be Tyler Show, but nonetheless, Tyler Shuck. He was not expected to do much last year, but then did and played well down the stretch. But that's a big ask, I think, to have them second on this list as far as most likely to make the playoffs or have the worst to first kind of situation there. I liked what I saw of him, but it was end of the year. It seemed probably that opponents overlooked, I guess, because it's a Saints. They weren't great, but he had moments. But again, it's against teams that I thought maybe did not take him seriously.
Well, there's that, and there's also you're pinning hope on a second-year quarterback when we know a lot of times these guys will come in the league as a rookie and they'll get in halfway through the season and, wow, they look pretty solid, and then teams get film on them and they understand what they're going after. And then the next year they kind of have a drop in a little bit. So, he played great when he was in there and he maybe gave that city some hope. And maybe he does take off this year, as a full-time starter, and they just look really good. But second-year guy, I don't know that I have a whole ton of faith in him turning that program around from 6-11 last year to go be a playoff contender.
Yeah, I don't. And
although he does have some weapons, and that always helps. And if his offensive line is good, that all plays into it. But if you were 6-11 last year, you probably are missing a couple pieces here and there. And to put that on a young quarterback, that's tough business.
Speaking of young quarterbacks, Giants went 4-13 last year, and ESPN's giving them an 11.6% chance to win the division, which is third among the other teams in there. And then odds of making the playoffs, 22%. And I know you've got the Malik Neighbors situation's hanging out there quite a bit, who was really good last year, but coming off an injury. Who knows about Cam Scatterboot, what he's going to do.
Well, he told us what he was going to do. He said he had 100 carries for 400 yards. So if he gets 400 carries, he's going to have 2,800 yards. I think is his math that he put out.
Bodie, I don't know if you've got the calculator, Bob.
That's been a few weeks ago. But
Bodie, I don't know if you can do the calculator.
It was pretty awesome,
yeah.
the math that he was doing. I love that kid, though. I think he would run through a brick wall if you told him to. And they got a lot of young guys there. I think there, with the Giants, you got John Harbaugh coming over.
We used to have a guy at the Dispatch who we would always say that this guy would run through a brick wall for you. It would probably be the wrong brick wall, but he would still run through one. Scatterboot's math makes me think maybe that I'm not sure about that. But the Giants, though, yes, the John Harbaugh effect is what is the big thing on that. We'll see.
They got some young players who were exciting last year. You got a coach coming in who's done it for a long time and, really just has been known for, consistency and all that good stuff. So I think that's a big part of, they're hoping he can change that program around a little bit.
Jackson Dart, if he can stay, I guess, unconcussed, right?
Yes.
If he can, and that's the Jackson Dart
in the game. And
yes, I love what Jackson Dart does, but it's just a question if he is smart enough.
Well,
RG3, that was a big thing where it's like he wasn't smart enough to slide. Yep. I don't. Smart enough sounds like the wrong word.
Well, it's not smart. You have this mindset where you just don't want to do that because you're playing football and you want to be out there and you want to try and get that extra yards for your team and all that good stuff. But it just becomes with the maturity of these guys are all like double the size of me and they're trying to hurt me. So I'm going to go ahead and get down and I'm not going to worry about that 1 yard. If I got enough to get the first, great, but I'm trying to play the next play. And these young guys, when they get in, you don't want to be known as that. You just, they'll do anything for my team. You want that kind of guy. And that's how you grow up being a quarterback. Just that's the only way you can show those guys because you're not hitting people every play. You're not getting hit every play. But in those moments that matter, like I'll show you that I'm going to put my body on the line. And when you get to the NFL, it's such a big business, and there's grown men out there trying to grab you. You got to be smart.
When you played in high school, I would think that compared to the people that you were going up against, you were decent sized.
Yeah,
okay,
for the most part.
You could absorb hits easier.
Yeah, you could definitely, when you get out on the edge,
yes.
you maybe are out running a linebacker or a defensive lineman, which in the NFL you're not. If you get out to those secondary guys' corners, they're typically a little bit smaller. So, yeah, I mean, as a guy who was 6'4", my senior year, I was able to not worry about that when I did run the ball. But, as soon as you got to the college,
I was saying college, though, it's like, hang on.
It's like me and Bobby, we're the same size for the most part. I mean, he's much more muscular.
You're the same size, but you're not the same size.
Well, yes,
you're really
exactly.
not. I mean, so
but
that had to be an adjustment for you, right?
Oh, 1,000% it's adjustment because I go back to Johnny Manziel all the time. Like in college, man, he was making guys miss and running around like this, blah blah blah. NFL, nope. That's what happens with these guys when they come to the league. They're used to running and using their legs, and maybe it works out for a while. I mean, even with the greats like Vince Young. I mean, rookie of the year, and then he's out a couple years later because. Well, those guys are just as fast, they're just as big, and they're just as strong, and
by the way,
they're going to figure you out too.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in that spot that you think you're going to get to. So it does change the way you play the game, and as a young guy in the league, you just have to understand I got to take care of myself, I got to protect myself.
On the great TV show Martin, one time he was in a thing with Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns is known as the Hitman. And Martin Lawrence famously said before their exhibition boxing match, "You're the Hitman. You're going to be the get hit man when we get in the ring." I think that's the same thing with you. When you're in high school, you might be the hitman.
Yeah,
when you're in college, you're the get hit man.
Yeah,
that's where it changes things.
No doubt about it.
Titans number 4 on the list at 3-14. Last year, the Raiders on there at 3-14, and then you get to the Jets at 3-14 last year. Number 7 on the list, not number 8. Number 7, the Browns. As far as worst to first, a 1.1% chance to win the division, 5.5% chance to make the playoffs. And this, I don't think the line changed at all. When they made the trade with Myles Garrett, it's all about the quarterback play. We don't know what they're going to do.
This is a team that has had some talent on it for the last few years. It's just the defense can't get off the field because the offense and the quarterback has been bad. And so if you're able to come out and just get serviceable quarterback play with a good run game, when we got Quinshon Jenkins back there, Dylan Simpson, we have some issues, or not issues, but we have some guys in the backfield that can tote the rock. So if you can lean on that with a revamped offensive line. I mean, gosh, I feel like the last 2-3 years that offensive line there has changed. They've had 15 different guys play. I mean, it's just incredible, the injuries, but they turned it over. Hopefully these guys can stay healthy, and if you can get decent quarterback play where your defense isn't on the field the entire game and you're actually able to score over 17 points in a game, it would be something to see, because I think this defense, even with losing Myles, is still going to be pretty solid.
You said the word decent. I almost think even average.
Yeah, fair.
Right, if they're average, if the quarterback play is average.
If you're just not turning the ball over a ton, you're hitting open guys, that's all we want to see. If the guy's open, just put it on him.
I'm trying to think of the most average quarterback in the NFL is. Bodie, do you have an idea of who you would say the most average is it Darnold? Is it?
He just won a Super Bowl, so
I know, but he was average though, wasn't he?
I would say
he's got good arm talent.
Is average quarterback? Let me think about this now.
JJ McCarthy.
McCarthy's below average, I think, on that one. Is Brock Purdy's above average, probably,
He's
right?
Above. Kyler Murray, maybe below average.
Murray,
and those two are on the same team.
It's hard telling on that one. it's hard telling you. I'm trying to think who the average, like what an average quarterback would be in the NFL. It's not anybody from the AFC East, AFC North, AFC South. It's not.
It's so hard. I mean, you have who's down.
Is it Trevor Lawrence? Is he average?
I would go with average, and then at times he can be above average, type deal.
So Trevor Lawrence might be the most average quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
If you get
We'd have to go down that list.
If you get Trevor Lawrence type production out of the Browns quarterback this year, they should be a playoff team, right?
They should be a contender. They should be there, which is about par for the course because we need another high draft pick next year.
Look,
well, maybe not though. If we find a quarterback, sign Deshaun back. If he has a good year.
Aaron Rodgers might be average now. Aaron Rodgers might be more average than Trevor Lawrence, I think. I say that as a Steelers fan. I think that Trevor
Lawrence.
Based off
last year, he didn't have a ton of weapons.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot there exciting offensively.
He might be the most average. But the Browns, though, they need to either be good or suck.
Yes.
They can't. If they're average,
they're
it's not
be
good.
Average.
They got to be one or the other. They got to be really good and make a playoff push, or suck and be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Is what they have to do.
Because the pick they got from the Rams is going to be a low one.
It'll be down. It'll be down to 30, 31, 32, exactly. Somewhere in there it'll be. The other team on the list, the last one now, because the Browns were 7th among the 8 teams that were 4th place teams in the divisions, is the Arizona Cardinals. They went 3-14 last year, a 0.1% chance, according to the ESPN stuff, of winning the division, and a 1.2% chance of making the playoffs. And the thing with the Cardinals is, look, you've got a below-average quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, who's holding out, who now will be at OTAs, it sounds like, but he's not sure what they're going to do, though. But he was holding out for more money. They did draft a damn good running back in Jeremiah Love. That's fantastic. They did that. But the offensive line still not great. Marvin Harrison Jr. should have a bounce back year, depending who's throwing, but I don't know who's going to be throwing to him because
they don't say who the backup is either.
The
Jacoby's
backup I think
probably going to get done. But
is Gardner Minshew, I think, is the backup, and then you've also got at the third string is Carson Beck. If I'm not mistaken,
right. They drafted Carson Beck.
So it'll be below average quarterback play.
Yeah, you have a journeyman and Minshew who can give you some things every now and then. But yeah,
right.
he's a guy that you just trust to fill in there. I'm guessing Jacoby will be signed and ready to rock for the season.
He's trying to get more money, and he should try to get more.
But then again, he's not a life changer. He's a solid quarterback to have in there. But
that's exactly what he is. Yeah. He's a better bridge quarterback. But I don't know where the bridge is. I think the bridge is fractured probably in Arizona because I don't know if Carson Beck is the next guy, and I don't know if their 2027 starting quarterback in Week 1 is on the roster right now.
Yeah. That's very fair.
We'll have to see what they have to do there. So, all right, coming up next, we will tell you who's got us juiced. Also, we'll get Tyvis Powell on here, and we will ridicule him for what his 40 time will be. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
Knee pain's something I lived with since the big game, and I'm all over surgeries. That's how I found QC Kinetics. I was able to get in, see the doctors, do the treatment, and get my knee feeling basically brand new. I can work out, run, most importantly, chase my son around the house and the yard, and do my job without any pain.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. This community is my home, and it means everything to me. I care deeply about the stories we bring you each day, especially the ones that truly impact your life, from women's health and advocacy to the decisions happening at the State House. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We have a desire and passion for great customer service. Every detail is important to us. From your first phone call to the end of the project, Newman is here to help you every step of the way. We're here to educate you so you understand what's happening with your roof. We're in your corner to help you be confident in your decision. After all, when your name is on it, it just means more. We are Newman.
Bobby knows what it's like to be a winner. Tito knows what it's like to be thrown out of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
You're here 4 hours.
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. We're going to type us on here shortly. Bodie's calling in on that number where he can't hear us. We just have to bring him on at some point. So will you see him when he comes on then, or will just be...
Just on the phone.
Just on the phone. Okay. The Fan 5K is presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. It's a 5K run and 1 mile walk happening Saturday, June 20th at Audubon University in Westerville. Some of your favorite fan personalities will be there, including T-Bone and Tyvis, Common Man, Timmy Hall, Eric Reeser, and yes, 10 TV's Adam King and Nicole Sheeran will be running the race in silly outfits. I can't wait to see what that means. Every participant gets a finisher's medal, a race shirt, free photos, and awesome gifts from Logan Services. The Fan 5K, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. Sign up today at 971therace.com. So we will get Tyvis on here at some point. Bodie, Isaiah, someone let me know when he's there and we can bring him on, or if the phone's open right now. I don't know if that's... Tyvis, you there?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Tyvis, it's great to have you on. Congratulations on the baby.
Mm-hmm. How's that going?
You know, this morning wasn't a great morning. It was a little rough this morning, but but outside of that, it's been great.
A baby boy. We got a name, and we got you gonna do the stats, the height and weight for us.
Yeah, Trace Powell. He was 8 pounds 4 ounces, 20 inches long.
There you go. Wife doing well?
Yeah, she's on the road of recovery. She's been doing better each day, moving around a lot better than she was when obviously she first had him. Yeah, so she's doing well.
Might be the wrong time to ask this because it's like asking an NFL player after the season, hey, you coming back next year? And it's like, oh, I'm not sure. You know, I'm sore and all stuff. But then once it gets around like July, August, they're like, yeah, I want to come back. Is this the last baby for the Powell family? Last planned baby for the Powell family?
This is it. This is, you know, Michael Jackson. This is it tour.
Yes,
that was that. This is it.
That was your tour. Okay, good to know. Tyvis, we had a debate about this. It's been, and we talked about it on the fan shows over the weekend, and we've talked about it for a while now. Your first day back from paternity leave, you are going to run the 40 at the 5K is when you go out there and do it on Saturday, June 20th. And look, Jay-Z has a lot more faith in you than I do. I said you're going to run an over 5 seconds. Jay-Z says there's no way in hell you are under 5 seconds in your 40.
Come on, baby.
Okay, look, you're coming off a couple weeks of being home with the baby, and obviously I texted you an hour ago. I didn't hear back from you until recently, so you're sleeping in.
He was training.
No, he wasn't training. He was sleeping. Tyvis, will you be under or over 5 seconds?
There is no chance that I'm gonna be over 5
That's
seconds.
what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Me personally, it's gonna be 4.46 because that's just all I know.
I don't know about that, Tyvis. You want to pump the brakes there a little bit.
Jay-Z's pushing back.
I mean, you're not as old as I am, but yeah, pump the brakes a little bit.
You think you'll be 4.46 or under? I mean, seriously.
Listen, you two got to understand, it's all about the technique, okay? I know the technique. 446, baby.
I want you to do this for me. I want you to text Richard Sherman. I want you to ask him what he thinks your time will be. And I want you to send me a text at some point this week and tell me what Sherman believes your time will be.
Well, he's like a hater. So
no, don't see. No. Here we go. Okay. Now you're doing pre-work now.
When you got friends like him, you don't need enemies. Okay. Because that guy is your hater for sure.
He's got over 6 seconds. Tyvis, look, congratulations again. I appreciate you being available this morning. Granted, it was later than I wanted you to be, but whatever. Sleeping, I guess, you lazy bum. And I can't wait to see you back here again. Best of luck. Best to you and your family and your wife. She's a saint. I don't know why she married you. No offense on that one. But Tyvis, we will talk soon after your after your plus 5 second 40.
You know what? You're starting to be like him and become a hater.
Tito Sherman, yeah.
But I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Go Bucks.
There we go. It's Tyvis Powell there joining us there. Again, the 5K, the Fan 5K is presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. It's a 5K run and 1 mile walk happening Saturday, June 20th. Otterbein University in Westerville. And T-Bone and Tyvis will be there. Common Man Timmy Hall, Eric Reeser, and Adam King and Nicole Sheeran will also be there as well in silly outfits, which I can't wait to figure out what that means. Every participant
banana
can say,
costume.
It might, I don't know, it'll be banana. I don't know what it'll be.
It's got to be something easy that you can run in. So
most of the time when I see Adam King, he's in a silly outfit anyway, just because he's in pants that are too high. And he's got clothes that are too tight.
His hair is so good, though.
His hair is certainly money, that's for sure. But every participant gets a finisher's medal, a race shirt, free photos, and awesome gifts from Logan Services. Fan 5K presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. Sign up today at 971therace.com. I am very glad that I'm not important enough to be asked to participate, because I would say no, but I feel good about the fact.
I feel like I'd have to.
You would have to go. Yes, you would. Of course you would.
Yeah. So I'm glad I didn't get asked.
Right, yeah. Someone in the chat mentioned that with the new studio, new cameras, they said that Justin looks huge. And not like in a fat way. I'm saying like in a big way. Like it looks like you are taller than you looked in the older studio. In the other studio, it's like, he said everyone looks smaller, but he said Justin looks very significant right now.
Well, these small chairs.
Okay, that's fine. Size doesn't matter. Anyway, before we get into what's got you juiced, a Chicago radio host said that Knicks fans are the most obnoxious fans in American sports. Now, it feels like, because there's been like fights and stuff like that, Lawrence Holmes said that I think Knicks fans are the most obnoxious fans in American sports, and he said that somebody else mentioned the St. Louis Cardinals baseball fans, as the next one up. And I have not had the displeasure of being around a lot of other fan bases, but I have a hard time thinking that Knicks fans might be most obnoxious today.
I feel like that is just more of a New York fandom thing. I don't know if it's just the Knicks, but I feel like New York teams, their fans have just won so much over the years.
Right.
And they because the Yankees were going through. Well, some of them, yes. But I mean, the Yankees had such a run that everybody hated New Yorkers, or New York because of what they were doing and just spending all the money. And New Yorkers are just different in their own right. I mean, that's why I like to go there for a couple days and then come back to the Midwest and get my Midwestern people.
Get back to America, real world, right? Exactly. Okay, no offense, New York. But yeah, I think that obnoxious fans are the ones that are winning now, usually.
Yeah, fair.
Which is why, look, there's some people that would say, and Bodie, you could probably relate to this as well. Some people would say Ohio State fans or Notre Dame fans are the most obnoxious. We know Steve Kerr, if he is our window to Notre Dame fandom, that's obnoxious fan. Cousin Rob for me. I think he's an obnoxious fan. Do you think that it's teams that win consistently probably have what's believed to be publicly the most obnoxious fans?
Yeah, I'd say just any fan base that has a lot of fans, honestly.
Yeah.
They don't even have to win.
Cowboys.
If they just, yeah. I don't like Cowboys fans. I'm one of them.
You're one of them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Any team that's just remotely popular enough to have a larger than that city's fan base, I guess, which a lot of sports teams obviously do. I think it's fair to say that, it's...
and the Knicks just get so many more because, you have Giants, Jets fans who are all Knicks, they only have the one basketball team.
Well,
so you get
Nobody cares about Brooklyn, technically.
Well, I forgot about them.
About the Nets.
I forgot about them. But yeah, everybody's like a Knicks fan as far as basketball goes. So you get like a melting pot of obnoxious people coming in and just rooting for the Knicks.
But I think when a lot of our perception of what the most obnoxious fans are who we know that are those fans. Like I'm telling you right now, there's a guy named Dave who is a brother of a very good friend of mine and brother-in-law of one of my best friends. And he's a Michigan fan. I can't stand it. And nice guy other than everything but sports. But it's like when it comes to Michigan, like that's my Michigan fan.
I've heard Michigan, like going up to a Michigan game for Ohio State fans can be rough.
Right, but like that right there is my Michigan fan. And so if you tell me that's my Michigan fan, that right there is my barometer.
Yeah.
Michigan fans, incredibly obnoxious.
I think that's fair. I mean, I was at the Notre Dame Pitt game last year.
Right.
And there was a Notre Dame chant going on. I was sitting in the Notre Dame section, and a guy turned around, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "Bleep the Irish." All right, dude, sweet. I'm not going to act like every Pittsburgh Panthers fan in the world is like a terrible person.
Sure.
But I wouldn't say it painted the best picture in the world for Pitt fans.
Like, dude, I'm just sitting here enjoying the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're telling me to.
I think there are some folks, some of them work in this building, that could be pretty obnoxious about the local college football team and the fact that Ryan Day wins 90% of his games and we still try to fire him. I also think there's a lot of people who are really good people who root for the Buckeyes. Like it's just every tree has their bad apple, or plural apples. And the larger the fan base you get, the more
that comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I love Notre Dame. We got a few. Hell, I might be one of them.
It's funny, buddy, you mentioned that because it's like it is, and I've said this before. I would like to get appointed by the mayor to be the Columbus fan sports ambassador because I'm very nice to visiting teams when they come here. I was very nice to Nebraska fans the first time they came here, Texas fans when they played here back in the Vince Young days. And I think that it's important that we put our best foot forward. But nonetheless, and by the way, Bodie, and you probably don't care, but you have actually made me appreciate and like Notre Dame fans more because I think you're a sensible person. And as opposed to all the obnoxious Notre Dame fans I've run into before. And so you inadvertently have changed my perception of Notre Dame fans. But then when my cousin Rob texts me, then all of a sudden it goes back to hell, and I'm like, oh, my God, I hate all you guys. All right, let's tell people Scott's juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
No pressure, but because it's Monday, you're first, Jay-Z.
Alrighty. So what's got me juiced? I'm heading back up to God's country tomorrow, Massillon, Ohio.
I'll say New York.
Doing a little talk at the Touchdown Club there in Massillon. First time that I've been, well, no big deal. Buddy of mine's vice president of the Booster Club now, so he reached out. My old coach, Rick Shepis, is coming into town. He's the main speaker. I think I'm just kind of introducing him.
To the opening act.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say, really. And I don't know if I'm going to get there. And they're going to say, well, we need you to fill 15, 20 minutes versus 5 minutes. So I'm kind of going in that, wide open. So
that's outstanding.
We'll find out. But yeah, I'm going to go up early and play Canton Brookside with a buddy of mine and then go over into Massillon and, see a little Tiger Town, do a little Tiger talk and see what happens. See if I can remember any of the good old days, back in my time there. But
every day they get further away.
I know they do, but I'm excited to get back. A lot of great people there, and of course, probably see a lot of old teammates and that sort of thing. So catching up with some of them, some teachers of mine, my old coach, it'd be a great time.
Only advice I give you is don't curse. I guess
they might like that. It's a football thing,
It's Massillon. I'm sorry, you're right. Yes,
we're all football people.
That's
up
fair.
There, so.
That's fair. Bodie, what does Schlegs have to say?
Dad, but you guys know Wendy's got Frosties for $1? I used to pound Frosties. Right now, if you gave me a Frosty, I would pound that thing. I would eat the crap out of that deal. But I haven't had a Frosty in a hot minute.
Talks about how much he loves them, and then he tells you, haven't had one, though, in a while.
Yeah.
All right, guys, West Me Juice Monday. Worst day of the week, but that's all right because it's the best Monday I've had in a while because it'll be my last Monday. At least for 2 weeks, maybe. I don't know.
Let's go.
Heading down to Destin this Saturday.
right.
Pretty fired up about that. Whether I come back,
Maybe I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to
I
spring
might
on
just
us
hit
here.
the beach and just chill. And
He's gonna open up a little surf station or something
down
down
Fish
there.
a call and say, "Hey, man, you know what? Isaiah's training today. Maybe you could just
Isaiah's
take my
good.
spot." Isaiah, how you feel about that? Thumbs up. You just
go.
gave me a
Yeah,
thumbs
there
up.
you
So
go.
there we go.
Okay. I love Isaiah.
So
Let's tap the brakes.
That has me juiced to be heading out there about this time, actually, Saturday morning. I'll
You go
be
down
sitting
with the
at
fam, or you
airport.
just-
Yeah, going
yeah,
down with
yep.
the family.
Awesome.
Yep. So looking forward to that for
great
sure.
trip.
Had a good weekend this past weekend here. It was pretty hot out, actually.
Did you go to
honestly,
Memorial?
But yes, I did. And,
Yeah.
yep, I was just about to mention that. Got out there on Friday with a buddy of mine, and we walked around. I'm going to be honest, not the biggest golf guy in the world, but he loves it. So we were just out there walking, hanging out. Got lost for probably a solid half hour.
Oh, yeah?
That was my first time there. I just started walking. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, I'm out at one of the holes. Just meet me there." I was like, "All right." I just started walking. Didn't know where I ended up, really. At some point, I just made some huge loop back to the main entrance there. And
That's
then
a long walk out
I
there
knew
when you don't know where you're going.
It was pretty.
Yes.
I was walking and walking. I'm like, man, I'm trying to look for anything that looks familiar. And
I felt bad for
quite a
those
while to
guys
get
yesterday.
there.
27 holes at that place,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then a couple
Yeah.
playoff holes
33 for
after walking all that. Like,
Posted
forget
like 33
about it.
holes yesterday.
Yeah, that's
I did
nuts.
run into carp though,
Oh,
and as
yeah.
I was walking out of the, I don't know what is that there? The pavilion something, I think. Yeah, at 18 by the entrance, and I was walking out, and all of a sudden this real big guy in a red polo and a ball cap walks by. Like, hey, I know that guy. So I said hey to him and hung with him for half an hour or so and grabbed lunch. But yeah, that all had me juiced on the Friday there, on that day in particular, and then over the weekend. And excited to get out of town on Saturday, Tito. But until then,
yes.
What has you juiced, sir?
Okay, what's got me? You mentioned that story, and that reminds me of. Then I told you one of the greatest days of my life. I was. This was. God, had to be 30 to 33 years ago when my former boss, John Self, who did a lot of stuff with Big Brothers and Big Sisters and very associated with Ohio State, had a golf outing to promote said cause. And there were, at the time, 4 Heisman Trophy winners for Ohio State. It was Les Horvath, it was Hop Cassidy, it was Vic Janowitz, and it was Archie Griffin. This is the 4 that were alive at the time that were the only Heisman Trophy winners. And my job that day was I was on a par 3 with Archie Griffin all day. When people came through, Archie would play the par 3 with them, and they could use his ball if they wanted to. My whole job that day was sitting in a golf cart with Archie, driving back and forth on the par 3. A fantastic day. And then the skies open up, the rains are coming, and we are driving back towards the clubhouse. I have no sense of direction, Bodie, much like you were like, oh, what hole am I on, or where's this? And the rains are, it's like sideways rain, and we're driving back to what I think is towards the clubhouse, and there's a former teammate of Archie's that is walking. And I said, look, do you want to ride here in the cart? I'll just walk back to the club. I said, yeah, it'd be great. So I tried to do the nice thing. It took me like an hour and a half to find the clubhouse. I was walking all over the place in this torrential downpour. So it was a great day until it wasn't, but I enjoyed that. Muirfield on Saturday was a lot of fun going out there. I know with the weather issues, but I just love being out there. It's a great experience to go out there and see that. And they do such a fantastic job of putting that event on. Great for Central Ohio. So that's a lot of fun as well. Also, my daughter had a swim meet this weekend and qualified for the Junior Olympics at a couple of events, which was nice. She was very excited about that. So that's coming up next month at Ohio State. She'll be doing that. They say Junior Olympics, I want to tap the brakes. It's not like, hey, if she does well there, she's in the Olympics. It's not that. She's 12 years old. So it's a cool thing, right? It's a cool thing. She gets to do it. I don't expect anything after that, but we'll see it. She's been trying for the last few years to qualify for the JOs, and the fact she got that was really cool as well. I was at a wedding this weekend, also a lot of fun down in Athens. The weather held off for the most part, but it was fun being out there, hanging out with friends and stuff like that, and getting a chance to reconnect and making lots of jokes about things from people that have been married multiple times, which is always fun. When you're at a wedding for somebody, if you're with other people that have been married more than once, you could say inappropriate things to each other that no one else needs to hear, but it's fun nonetheless. That's it for Morning Juice. Jay-Z, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill Bender. Thank you, Isaiah. And most of all, thank you to Bodie. We are back tomorrow. This has been Morning Juice.